Rock IFR at Diamond, climbing to 2,000 feet. They're currently just south of Delta Air Park.
Okay, so I'll pull back. And say I want to descend at 80. So now when we reach 80.
Alpha Bravo Papa Tower.
Alpha Bravo Papa, Langley Tower, Bay Tower, go ahead.
Alpha Bravo Papa suggests not above 2,000 feet. There's traffic just south of Delta Air Park, climbing to 2,000 IFR, heading towards White Rock.
Alpha Bravo Papa will descend to 1,500.
Roger.
So you see, you can try to I can't have power. Coming down quickly because there's traffic.
Gus Tango, any better ground, runway 13, altimeter 3019er, taxi via Alpha for the automall departure off of runway 13.
So when I reach 1,500, I'll do pat again. But I want to pull the power and you can see that we're pretty much on 1,500, right?
And we'll get RV6 Foxtrot Yankee Golf India, main 8 for information, Delta, taxi for departure to Courtney Air Park, 6,500.
RV Foxtrot Yankee Golf.
If I want to make a turn,
runway 13, altimeter 3019.
30 degree.
Via Alpha for runway 13 with a point.
So we're 30 degrees.
Block code is 5.
I look outside, look at the instruments, look outside, and I still have the 3 or 4 fingers, right? And I want to confirm. So now that I know when everything looks good, I don't have to stare at that.
Main east of runway 13 at all times, wind 110 at 8 knots.
Okay. I can just look outside, maintain that angle, maintain the distance, occasionally check. And I just maintain that picture.
Alpha Bravo Pop-Up, previously mentioned traffic is about 3 miles west of your position, eastbound, climbing through 2,600 feet altitude at your discretion.
Alpha Bravo Papa, thanks for the heads up. I'll get back up to 24. So now that we've got no conflict, so it can pitch up, so power, because now we're doing apt, right? So attitude like we did, and then add your power.
Power.
And then trim.
And trim.
Yeah, so trimming is where you can do the switches, but I don't normally get into that, but we're going to do a slow climbing turn. When you climb on a, when you're climbing on a turn, you don't want to climb, you don't want to turn sharply because you can stall. How about 10 or 15 degrees?
Take off runway 13.
Yeah. Take off 13 from Alpha, Yankee Golf India.
And what we'll do is we're going to head up to, so we're at, when we reach 2,400, we pitch down and power back. And now I can turn sharp because we're no longer, we're not climbing.
5552.
And we're going to go up 150 seconds.
5551.
5551, okay, thanks.
And ball in the center.
Route RV6 Golf Lima Hotel.
Okay, so we watch 2,300.
Good morning, this is Foxtrot, Lightning Cross 07, get some fuel.
Lima Hotel, cross runway 25, taxi by Echo to the pumps.
Now I may descend to 22 because we got cloud. So power, descend, power attitude. Beta for Bravo Papa, just north of White Rock. We're heading northbound on 152nd.
Alpha Bravo Papa, roger.
Oh, it looks okay. Now you can see the clouds, eh? They're moving east to west.
Yankee Golf India, actually, when you're safely able, you were correct. It was 5552. I was looking at a different aircraft score.
So I'm going to have to angle a little bit because I'm being pushed to the west, right?
Yankee Golf India, thanks. You're identified not above 2,000 feet until approved. For higher, contact Vancouver Terminal 125.2. Good day.
Yankee Golf India, have a good day.
And normally we want to be at about 5,200 RPM. the motor likes that speed. It doesn't like to go too slow.
Yeah.
Because the fuel is too rich or too lean, something like that. So it likes it at around 5,000, 5,200 RPM. Yeah, it's about 52 there. And we'll just cruise up 152nd. So I'll make you, so this is called straight and level. So your job, or your first assignment, is to maintain 2,000. So you don't want to climb above or below. And you want to maintain that heading. So it's like a magenta line, eh? So pretend 152nd Street is a magenta line. So we look outside, look at the instruments, look for traffic, look at the instruments. So we grab a section, 1 second increments, piece of the sky, like that. Then we start over, because we can't stare, right?
Yeah.
So we look to the 1 second, look down, 1 second, look down, 1 second, look down. And you can see we climbed a little bit. Look over there. I'm just going to push down a little bit, look over there. So I'm always scanning a piece of the sky. So that's the courthouse, that big white balloon.
Yeah.
It's like an airbag, a white airbag. That's our reporting point. The Cloverdale is another reporting point. So if you're inbound to do circuits or inbound to land, you could say, oh, I'm 5 miles from the Cloverdale racetrack. Or 2 miles from the courthouse. So we're holding pretty good, 2,000 feet, and we're maintaining a heading. So now there's no crosswind because I'm flying straight. We're not being pushed.
It's such an interesting experience I have.
What's that?
I say it's such a strange experience for the first time. I never would imagine that like a 20 or 25, it could be such a sharp and could give such a G-force. Not G-force, I mean, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. It's got a good engine. It's a lot of power.
It's fantastic.
So this is Guildford. I'm not sure if you've heard of Guildford.
Yeah, in Surrey, Guildford, right?
Yeah, Guildford Shopping Centre.
Yeah.
The big flag.
Yeah. That's already my address. If I get loose, I see. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, so that's why this is 152nd Street, Fraser Highway, and then the park. Very central, King George.
Yeah.
So we got Golden Ears Bridge, Portman Bridge. So it's good that you know the area, because you have to know where you are at all times. So the Fraser Highway on an angle, hard to see, but
Yeah, I see.
yeah, that goes all the way to Abbotsford. So this is Barnstein Island.
Right, yeah.
And this is Douglas Island. In Pick Meadows Airport, we see the white hangars on the other side. Yeah, that's Pick Meadows Airport. So we're watching, we're scanning.
Oh, yeah.
Airplane 1 with information Alpha, requesting taxi information for local east departure. Take.
Western Golf Whiskey Charlie Golf, Panaviga ground, runway 13, altimeter 3019er, taxi via Alpha, Auto Mall departure, squawk code 5570.
5570, Whiskey Charlie Golf.
And we're holding pretty good, so we climbed a little bit, but that's okay. So if I want to turn to the left, or 180, I look to the right, look to the left, Make sure there's no aircraft.
Saying when you tire identified.
And I use a little bit of left rudder to make my turn to the left. And we're going to re-intercept all in the center. Very hazy today. And now they're going to re-intercept and I'm going to fly straight over it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's not too accurate, but it is what it is.
Very useful for me.
Yeah, I prefer to use my GPS. And you get a little bit of a we're heading a 165. It's about right, 167.
Yeah. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I like this much better. This had not too much. So we're holding 2,000, that's good. Bay Tower off Bravo Papa, 2,000. We're about 2 miles north of the courthouse, 152nd Street, southbound.
Alpha Bravo Papa, Roger, altimeter 3019er.
Alpha Bravo Papa. Just to let them know where we are. Yes, it's very humid today. When the humidity goes up, it'll make cloud. But there's a lot of cold air because the warm air turns into cloud, the humidity. That's good. So I'll let you fly a little bit to see. So we just maintain the heading and the altitude.
Tango India Tower traffic 10 o'clock, 3 miles southbound ultralight 2,000 feet, type and altitude unverified, surveillance service terminates, good day.
Looking for Suffolk Zulu Tango India, thank you.
Alpha Bravo Papa Tower traffic 1 to 2 o'clock and 4 miles eastbound Cessna 1,300 feet.
Alpha Bravo Papa, we'll be looking for the traffic.
I'm such a scared to make some mistake. I just feeling with like a baby.
All right. Yeah, you're doing a good job. So you can see that if you don't change the picture, if it's the same picture, then you're not, nothing's gonna change. Yeah, it's okay to be up a little bit, down a little bit. For ultralight, to get your license, you're allowed about 100 feet or 200 feet plus or minus.
Okay.
But if you go for your commercial, you only allow 50 feet. So there's a lot of more relaxed for the ultralight. It's not that strict. So that's good. So these are the landing lights, the strobe light for the wingtips, cabin heat, the blue one is choke, and those are what they call the ancillary controls. So this is the lights, like for the little lights. Doesn't really work, but so that's what ancillary controls mean. So we gained a little bit of altitude, so power back a little bit because we're flat. And we'll level off. A little bit of power. Because we're just a little bit, not a dramatic change in altitude, a little correction, and we're pretty good. A lot of students make the mistake, they make abrupt movements. Right? Like they go, but you go very gentle, right? There's no need.
That's great to know.
Yeah.
The APT is very...
Yeah, it's good to know that's the proper way of descending and climbing. Flat and up.
That's the US.
Yeah, the
So
US
we
is...
don't go there at all.
No, I'm okay. I'm allowed. You're allowed to overfly.
Okay.
It was bumpy when I wrote that, so that's for descending. And that's for, no, sorry. That's for climbing. And that's for descending. Okay, good. So Boundary Bay, their control zone is over there, so we don't want to go too far because they're gonna tell us to, you know, you're entering our control zone without permission.
Oh, okay.
So I keep the rudder in the center, 30 degrees, and I look outside to make sure that we're not climbing or descending.
Tower, this is Whiskey Charlie Golf.
So I'll let you make a turn. We'll do one together and I'll give you more and more control.
Whiskey Charlie Golf. Tower.
So we look outside, look at the instruments.
Whiskey Charlie Golf.
And we like to, in your mind, the angle. Then occasionally check. And we're going to do one to the right. So I'm going to use a little bit of right rudder. So it's stepping on the right. And pretty much the same thing. So I lost some altitude, so I'm going to pick up the nose. But the 30 degree, it looks good.
We're over by the fuel, and we're IFR to Campbell River.
So we're climbing, but I want to go back up to 2,000 to make up for my mistake.
Hotel is clear to the Campbell River Airport via the Boundary Bay 5 departure, flight plan route.
And when I get to 2,000, I'll just pitch the nose down a little bit.
Contact Bangkok departure on 132.3 when advised by tower.
So we're 2,000, so I'll pitch the nose down, but carry on the turn.
351 and contact departure 1323 when advised, Golf Lima Lima Hotel.
Lima Lima Hotel, ground readback is correct to runway.
No, just use my eyes. Like, I don't even turn my head.
1181, holding
I
short.
scan with my eyes, right? Because I need more perspective. If I move all over the place, it's hard for me to get a reference. Like your eyes move quicker than your head, right?
Small Foxtrot to Juliet Charlie Delta, Boundary Bay ground.
Okay, we're a lot more accurate now.
Juliet Charlie Delta will be departing from Delta Heritage eastward. Would like to get a...
That's perfect.
Juliet Charlie Delta, roger.
And I'm going to roll out over the pier.
120 knots, altimeter's 30.
So a little bit of left rudder when I roll out. So left rudder.
Feet, unless you want to talk to outer tower 127.6 when you're airborne out of Delta.
6712, and we'll talk to tower.
So when we want to descend or climb, let's climb to 2,400 feet. So attitude, power, full power.
Whiskey Charlie Golf through 900.
Whiskey Charlie Golf Tower.
And I could climb to 65, so I could pitch up to make the slow down, so, or pitch down a little bit to bring it to 70 or 65, a little bit like that. So when I reach 2,400, then I will pitch down and hold it, then power back to whatever power setting I want. Turn to the, I don't want to get into Abbotsford. Like that, turn around. Coordinated flight. Like that. The ball in the center. Like that.
Ground, Lima Lima Hotel.
Lima Hotel ground.
Now if I want to descend, it'll be hot,
Lima
right?
Lima Hotel,
So we're going to level off.
we'll always send to Golf if you prefer Alpha 4000.
Like that?
It's from Alpha. If you'd like that, we can do
And if I want to descend at 80,
Alpha there, for my
Then
light airplane, when I depart off of Golf,
I hold it.
as I'm accelerating,
Don't lose altitude.
07 there, I get launched.
Oh, 80.
Lima Lima Hotel, not a problem. Taxi via Alpha. Contact tower 1181.
I pitch down
Sure help, Lima Lima Hotel.
to get the 80. And then trim, right? So it looks like I could let go. If you let go of the thing, it'll descend by itself, see? Because I'm trimming, right?
Yeah.
So that's what they mean about the T for the trim, right?
Yeah.
So now I could let go, I could read a map, right? Oh, if I maybe it down a little bit because it's going below 80.
Yeah.
Right, so I pitch the nose down a little bit, maybe trim like that, and it's pretty much 80 all the way down, right? So how do we level off? We attitude and power both at the same time, and we don't change, the altitude remains, right? And I can choose whatever power and then retrim. So you see, I have to pitch down. Right?
Yeah.
When you add power, it wants to pitch up.
Yeah.
Like that. And we maintain that desired altitude of 1800, so we don't want to get too far out. So
And tower, Whiskey Charlie Golf.
Whiskey Charlie Golf Tower.
Yeah, we'll descend to 1500 to leave the area. There's just a few clouds.
So if I want to climb, it'll be apt,
Whiskey Charlie Golf
attitude, power, trim. And we're going to go back up to 2,400 feet, so go with me. So attitude, power, full power. And we want it for 65.
Okay.
You can see it climbs really, and a little bit of right rudder because the ball get asymmetric thrust. A little bit more right rudder. When I reach 2,400, I'll just pitch the nose down, attitude like this, and power
Power
back
and trim.
like that, and we're bang on 2,400 feet. Power is good at 5,000. So that's, and you can see that it wants to pitch up, right?
Yeah.
So retrim. When you trim, you can let go, and the plane will fly. So maybe, that's it, perfect, yeah. And the same thing for the aileron, right?
Yeah.
But seems to be happy there. So take me down 152nd Street. So I need to power.
Charlie Golf Tower, as you continue eastbound there, watch for traffic just departed Langley's control zone westbound.
Because we got clouds.
400 and climbing, type and altitude and verified additional traffic over the White Rock Pier headed northbound ultralight 2,300 and surveillance services terminated. Have a good flight.
Whiskey Charlie Golf.
Yeah, Bay Tower off Bravo Papa heading north, 152nd Street from White Rock. We're going to descend to 1,800, a little bit of a cloud deck.
Alpha Bravo Papa Tower, check remarks. Watch for traffic over the Auto Mall now. Headed eastbound is a Cessna at 1,500.
Alpha Bravo Papa looking for the traffic. Yeah, and we have the traffic in sight.
Roger, and additional traffic about 3 miles east-northeast of the Auto Mall, westbound, is a Cessna 1,500.
Alpha Bravo Papa, looking for that traffic as well.
And Cessna Foxtrot Whiskey Juliet Zulu, Boundary Bay Tower. Are you with me on this frequency?
So there's one coming this way.
To local east with information on Echo.
Cessna Golf Whiskey Zulu Bravo, Boundary Bay ground, good day runway.
So we're going to climb back up.
019er, taxi via Alpha. One circuit's approved, followed by the Auto Mall departure. And squawk 6716.